Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for your support of the Cosmic Chats, for your attention and your energy, and just being a part of each episode. It makes all the difference. So if you haven't subscribed before, please consider doing so. The more subscribers that we can get, the wider the net that we can cast, and the more and more people that we can bring in to share their insights, consciousness, and wisdom, and reveal that in the universe for all of us. So thank you so much and have a great day. Welcome everybody to this Cosmic Chat. My name is Debbie Sugarbaker and this is my channel, and I interview all of these interesting folks who are elevating consciousness, and Tamar is one of them. She is an integrative healer. She works with different modalities, helping people to shift their energy and welcome new possibilities into their life and just to feel more of who you really are. So it's so interesting because we actually spoke 2 weeks ago and it got deleted. And then since then, I've become much more, I've revisited Access Consciousness. So maybe I needed to be in a different space.
Great.
Yes.
You look beautiful today.
Thank you. Thank you. So Tamar, can you share with everyone what it is that you really do when you work with a client? I know that you work with women particularly.
My goal when I work with clients is to help them to take away the blockages, to really know who they are and to shine their light. And we all need everyone's light. So my goal is to help each individual to be who they are and shine their light without limitation.
So powerful. It's kind of like, I don't know, this is like kind of another thought, but I read this book called The War of Art. I started listening to it. It's a very good book. And he talks about how like each person is like an artist, and we come here with a specific mission of something to share with the world and to give with the world. And we get distracted, and then we wind up with like having to take care of symptoms, or, you know, we end up in the wrong, we kind of just go into the wrong corner, and then we have to kind of dig our way out, and people, you know, turn to addictions. Or I'm not saying that that's the only reason for addiction, although he talks about this thing called resistance, which basically will always try to stop you through fears from really manifesting what you're supposed to do, from doing your mission. So it sounds that you help people to overcome that resistance.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And anyone who is in art, anyone actually, whether you're, especially if you call yourself or consider yourself a creative, a writer, an artist, check out that book, The War of Art. It's really good, about stepping into your own and really being unapologetic with your life.
Right, you know, a tree is a tree, right?
Yeah.
They don't have bad days, they don't have good days. They're just a tree. Or a bird. They sing, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't, oh, it's raining, I'm not going to sing. Or I'm having a bad day, I'm not going to sing. They just are. What if we become like that? That it doesn't matter what's going on, and we just exist and be who we are.
I mean, that's powerful. And obviously, you help people to clear, especially things from the past, right? Or from the present, right, which may be blocking you from kind of being in that space, right? Being able to be.
Right. I mean, like, listen, we're not just us. This person who I am today, it's taken generations to build me, right?
Right.
We're talking about genetics. We're talking about culture. We're talking about nowadays everybody's talking about epigenetics. Like, who am I? You know, so maybe something I'm dealing with. It's a trauma that my great grandmother had. Right? I don't even know about it. So how do I get rid of it? I'm not even aware of it. It just rules me. So how do I get rid of it when I don't even know it exists?
Wow. And so you're working on the level of the subconscious, right? Tapping into the
Subconscious,
subconscious.
subconscious, like really, like there are things we know on the conscious level, right? And we're working on it. But is it everything? Okay, sorry, my camera keeps slipping down. So, yeah, we just have to keep working on all the levels, what we know, what we don't know, right? And there's messages that come to us from all over. And by asking questions, that's how you started, right? What's possible? By asking questions, we connect and we find out more. Just asking questions and questions and questions. Maybe if we ask 100 questions, maybe we'll get a few answers. But as long as we keep asking.
Right. Just to give people an example of like how we take in things, like I was thinking the other day, someone mentioned to me, oh yeah, a friend of mine said like, oh, I always liked Batman. And I was like, me too. And then I realized, no, I didn't really like Batman, but my older brother, who I was closest with at that time when I was 4 and he was 6, he loved, Batman was his superhero of choice. He didn't like he had like a thing, he didn't really like Spider-Man. He was like with Batman. So even now today, I realize I have a preference for Batman that's not even mine, you know?
Right.
And so that's like a very small thing, but imagine the things that our parents told us or someone told us and we were little and we took it in, and it may even be connected to the belief system of their great, you know. So it's just, it's fascinating when you start to work on this level. And I love how you integrate it with the body, because I actually did a session with Tamar and we worked on chronic pain that I've had in my back, and it's really helped. So how do you combine working on this subconscious level and asking questions with the body talk and working with the body?
A lot of it gets stored in our body, right? We have emotions we don't deal with. It gets stored in a part of the body. We're not separate. We're like our soul, our being is not separate from our body. In this world, they're supposed to work together, right? So the body gives us hints about our consciousness, and if we have the wrong consciousness, it shows up in the body. So it's about dealing with both of it at the same time. You know, it's like when you go to a cardiologist, they just deal with the heart. You go to a foot doctor, they just deal with the foot. And everybody says, you know, how Western medicine has made it so you don't deal with the whole person, and you start dealing, you know, integrative doctors that deal with the whole person, right? It's that we're not just our being, we're not just our mind, we're not just our body. They're not separate. We have to deal with all of it at the same time.
Wow.
Right?
I think that, you know, it can seem, especially for people who are very deeply ingrained in seeing the world in one way and seeing healing in one way, which is very much address the symptoms. This can almost feel overwhelming, like, oh boy, I gotta dig into that. I don't even know if I can go there. So what would you say to somebody that it feels like overwhelming, especially if they're facing a health challenge?
It's not like we have to fix it all in 1 second.
Right.
Right? We just have to start.
Right.
And we have to know, and then we have to desire. Right? I know I can't fix me in 1 day. I'm not supposed to.
Right.
But I can start my journey and know what the journey is and not be sidetracked. Oh, I have a pain. I need to go to this doctor, and I need to go to that doctor, and I need to do this, and I need to get an MRI and this and that. Yes, but what else do you need to do?
Right.
It doesn't end there.
Right.
What consciousness do you need to work on?
Right.
What, how do you need to connect to your soul and see what your soul wants you to do?
Right.
You know, a lot of people that have back pain, it's because somehow they're hiding who they are behind their back.
Ding ding.
Right?
It's so
So,
interesting. Wow, I almost have tears with what you're saying, right? Because I can so relate. I've had a chronic back pain for like 7 years in my mid back, which you helped me with. But it's very true that as I've been digging more, that's what I find. It's a fear of of really showing and being who I really am, rather than what I was expected to be. Because until that point, and it came around my Saturn return, which my whole life changed, and then it was like, but it was like this fear to fully kind of step into a new place.
the universe supports us, right? The universe sends us guidance. The universe gives us hints. Are we listening?
Yeah.
Including me, you know.
Yeah. And how do the questions help?
The questions
Like, what kind of
open
questions do you use for yourself on a daily basis?
any kind of questions. What, how, uh, just trying to stay away from why, because why we have to be selective with. Because if we ask why, we can go down the rabbit hole.
Right.
Right?
Why? Because my great 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 grandfather had a
Yeah.
vendetta against this guy, something like that.
Right? So it can be like not helpful. There is very selected places that you can use why. But like, what is this? What is the beautiful energy underneath this? Right? Because sometimes something looks bad, but we know that there's nothing bad.
Right.
Right? So if something happens and we don't get it, we just have to ask, what is the beautiful energy underneath this? And we ask questions not because we want answers. We ask questions to open ourselves to possibilities,
Right.
not to be stuck where we are, not think this is it, right? This world, everybody talks about it. This is the world of illusion.
Right.
Whatever we see, our five senses lie to us, right?
Right. And anything can
So
change in any moment when we change our perception, right?
that's right. So how do we change my perception? If I'm stuck in thinking a situation is the way it is and I don't ask any questions, what happens? We get locked in, right?
Right.
And we're just stuck there.
And then we really have we don't really have an option but to kind of react or suppress our emotions
Right.
around the
That's right.
situation.
And none of that is helpful, right? But if we ask questions and we keep asking questions, oh, maybe this, oh, maybe that, and we show the universe we're open. Show me.
Open and deserving. There's an element of deservingness. Like, what is this? Like, I actually deserve to have like I'm not um, only going to, like, I'm not so low that I can only react to this situation. I can actually elevate and use
Right.
my higher faculties to ask questions and to move
Right.
through
Because
this
we're
situation
not
in a
like
higher
a
way.
tiny being.
Yeah.
Right. We have power and we need to connect to that power and use it for the good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's interesting because we spoke about the superhero thing, but when you were saying that, it kind of came into my mind. Yeah, we are. We're like superheroes. But
Yeah. And
sometimes
we
if
all
the
have our
situation,
special powers.
yeah, but sometimes when situations come and they make us, perhaps it's just my own correction, or tends to make me feel very small. Then I feel like, well, who am I to even ask about the situation? I must have done something, I kind of get stuck in this stance of like shame or guilt. But I've, at least in the last, just asking the questions, it's like you can always bring something new, and you're worthy and deserving of that.
You're not alone in that.
Yeah.
When stress comes, when tough times come, we automatically shrink.
Right.
Okay? And asking questions is one way of connecting to the unlimited and to expand ourselves. And being deserving doesn't even need to be addressed because I'm asking questions. What else is possible? I want to do more. Show me.
Beautiful. I love it. So I know that you work a lot with mothers who are balancing and juggling a lot of things. Why is it that you chose to work with mothers, and what is it that you try to bring out in them or to help them with specifically?
I love working with mothers because I feel like when you address and help the mother, you're actually helping the whole family. You're helping the next generation because if a mother is balanced and in tuned and aware, guess what she's going to do? She's going to raise aware, in tune children.
Right.
So that's the way I love it. And also, nowadays mothers are not just mothers. Most of them aspire to give more to the world. And that causes a lot of stress in their lives because they don't just want to be a mother, they want to be who they are, right? But it's so taxing being a mother. Sometimes you don't have energy to be anything else. So what I want to do with mothers is to get them to be so balanced that they can raise the family and also be the contribution they need to be to the world.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's and talk about like the beliefs. What came to mind when you were speaking was like even like generation. So in this generation, women are more, in the workplace and aspiring towards a great career, but also aspiring towards motherhood. And then we have all of these ancestral beliefs about, you know what a woman's role is, and those were literally, passed down from our mothers, our grandmothers, not so far away even, and expectations about, making food and how much effort. And of course, that varies by culture and everything, but I've definitely come across that. And I, even though I'm not even a mother, just as a woman being pulled in different directions in terms of roles and what, kind of what has helped me is I said, like, wow, I need to step out of this place of responding to what is expected of me by anybody, and really embody more of how I want to do it. This is how I want to this is how I want to prepare the food. This is how I want to keep a home. This is how I want to, and just bring it back into my own creative power.
Right. To be in awareness of what's required.
Right.
What is needed here? What does my child need? What does my business need? What do I need? What does my husband need? Right? What is required? It's not like just setting boundaries. It's greater than that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's connecting to something higher and living with that, right? Throughout your day, with that awareness,
Right.
with that connection. So powerful. So, okay, I'm happy we're right on track. A lot of people these days, and this is something that we spoke about before, are dealing with, feelings of lack, because there's just so much availability for the universe to mirror back to you what you may be lacking that you haven't received in your life, or that you've been working on for many years. And so people, especially with this Instagram and with all of the social media, and we spoke about it. I mean, it can get into a very dark and sad place, especially for younger people who are really struggling with that. We had mentioned in the last interview how, child suicide is up and all of these types of things. So how can Access Consciousness and the work that you do, Body Talk, help people to deal with that? Or is there something a tool that you can give us now that we can share with people that we know?
Sure. I mean, access consciousness helps with that a lot. Body talk helps with it a lot. I can teach you a tool from body talk. It's called cortices technique to balance the left and right brain and to calm down the amygdala. I mean, there's so much science to it and so much into it, but right now I can just teach you how to do it. So, do you want to learn?
Yes.
Let's see if my camera is gonna cooperate and not slip down. Okay, so we're going to be using both of our hands.
Okay.
There is a tapping part. We tap the head, covering both sides of the brain, right? So we don't tap to one side. We tap in the middle. We tap over the sternum, and we tap over the belly button. The tapping is light. We don't have to be hard or anything. It's a light tapping, right? And then with the other hand, we're going to be covering all the parts of the head. So we're going to start with our thumb at the neck,
Okay.
right? And then the next hand position would be one up, one up, one up, one up to the eyebrows. Okay? And then the size of the head, the thumbs being above the ear.
Okay.
Yeah, your hands all the way, like, oh, the camera's slipping down. I'm sorry about this. Like this.
Okay.
Okay? So all the way from the temples to the back. So we're going to start, also another part of it is deep breathing. So we're going to be doing 2 breath cycles for each hand position. Okay?
And for anyone who just joined, we are balancing the right and left hemispheres of the brain, which allows you to feel more peaceful, secure, stable, balanced, and to come from a different place, especially if you feel, torn or distracted or many.
It actually makes the left and right brain work better together.
Okay.
Okay. So here, we're going to start with the hand in the back of the head.
Okay.
We're going to tap with the other hand and breathe. Okay. Then we're going to put the next hand up. Okay, we can tap with the other hand. Okay, now then remember to tap with your hand flat on the head because you want to cover both sides.
Okay.
Right? And we tap with the fingers on the sternum and with the flat hand over the belly. Okay, so let's go to the next hand position. Okay, next hand position. Now we can tap in the back of the head, right? As long as you catch both sides, we're good. Okay. This is getting to be funny. And remember, it's a light tapping. You don't need to be hard or anything like that. It's just a light tapping to get the energy moving.
Okay.
Okay. And now we're going to go to the sides of the head, the thumbs above the ear. And the other hand. So how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel that it's definitely shifted something, I'm going to practice it.
So if you do it every day, it has a cumulative effect.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. So it's going to take you out of the adrenaline rush, and start just then you'd be just coming from a calmer place.
Yeah. And if you're dealing with
Moms can
even
do
a
it on their
specific
kids.
situation, can you do it like in regards, like if I'm, like if there's usually, not usually, but you know, I have something in my life that tends to bring up the adrenaline, right? Or trigger me in that way. Can
Yeah.
you kind of meditate on that situation while you do it?
Yes, you can do it proactively, make it part of your habit. Like I
Mm-hmm.
brush my teeth, I do my cortices,
Mm-hmm.
right? Actually, I do my inverter personally. I go on my inverter machine and then I do my cortices. That's me. That's how I coupled it, right? Just find something you do every day and just do it with it.
Okay.
So you make it part of your habit. And you can do it like if you're going into a difficult meeting or you're you have a test or your kids have a test or you want your kids to calm down. It can be used all the time. You can't overdo it.
Okay, I love it.
There's
Or I can
nothing
do it
wrong with
before the next cosmic chat. Use it for every
yeah,
time. Just get into
yeah,
a different zone, you know.
yes,
Because it
definitely.
feels like it creates like an energy. It feels like it feels more balanced. It feels like it creates a space.
Yeah.
So, so I know that we kind of skipped this in the beginning, but we did talk about this in the last one. Can you just share with the audience about how you came to be working with these healing modalities? Because a lot of people now are kind of taking leaps, or maybe they did take a leap and they're trying to follow something that feels like we spoke about in the beginning, more in alignment with who they really are. And so it's inspiring to speak with somebody who is really doing that. And I wondered if you might just share your path. I know you were a pharmacist.
Yeah. Yes. So listen, I guess my path started with studying Kabbalah
Mm-hmm.
and I've been studying over 35 years. Um, I am a pharmacist, but I noticed that the the Western medicine has obviously it has its uses, but it's just a part, right? It's not a complete thing, right? So there must be other pieces. That's what started my search.
Right.
Um, I raised my kids on homeopathy and naturopathy,
Wow.
and um, Body Talk came into my life in 2005, and it was a gift because someone introduced me to it, and I didn't know anything about it. She told me, this is a class, you need to go to this. I go, but I'm working. I was a pharmacist, but I'm working, and it's in 2 days. I'm not going to get the time off. I got the time off. So I went to the class, and I was very skeptical. So he picked me as the first demonstration. And when I was 16, I had this car accident where my neck hadn't been the
Wow.
same since, right? So he puts me on the table, and in 2 minutes, using an elementary technique, my neck feels better. So I go, oh, okay, fine. I guess there's something to this. So I was open to it, right?
Right.
And
You saw
that
to
night,
believe.
yeah. So that night when I went home, I said to everybody, here, come, I learned stuff I want to practice on you. So my son, my eldest, had a planter's wart that we've been working on for the last 4 months with herbs and homeopathy, trying to take care of. And, it was painful, but I didn't want to do surgery and get it out because the foot doctor said if you take it out, it can grow back. And I was like, okay, why do I need to do this? We need to figure out another way.
Right.
So I put him on I did the techniques on him, and he got off the table and his foot didn't hurt. I'm like, what? Okay, fine. There's something here. Let's pay attention. So that just started my journey. And I added access consciousness right before COVID.
Wow.
And it was amazing because of COVID. I was able to take all the classes online. and didn't have to travel to Rome and to South America and this place and that place to take the classes. And it's been a real gift because putting the Kabbalah, the body talk, and access consciousness together with, you know, a bit of homeopathy and this and that, it's just made it more of a comprehensive thing that I can give to people.
Yeah, because you can work on the level of clearing subconscious beliefs and feelings. You can help them physically with the homeopathy. Wow, it's like you have a great toolbox of healing gifts.
Yeah. And I love using it, and I love people who are open.
Yeah.
To have it all.
It's interesting because when I had my session with you, you were like, you know, obviously I had like an emotional release, and, you know, I thought about situations that were not in my conscious mind. But once you started kind of discussing the pain, or I'm not even sure whatever you were doing to, I could feel, you know, in my back, I could feel the energy of what you were doing, something in my back. And then the memories that came up were not memories that I'd been thinking of. And then I definitely had an emotional release. But you said, like, every session is different and you never know, and you just show up very open for what the intelligence, that greater intelligence, wants to bring through for the person or clear from it, right?
Yes.
So powerful. So if
every session is a surprise.
Every session is a surprise. Yeah, so everyone can check out Tamar's website, www.healingwithtamar.com, and to book a session. And if you mention this Cosmic Chat, you can get 15% off. And I know that we had more questions and we've gone over now. So I just wanted to see if there's anything else that you felt to share about with our audience, with anyone who is listening or who will listen.
No, just keep asking questions and being open.
Yeah.
Just be open. And if anybody wants to just talk and find out more information, you know, call me.
And what about those things that people feel, you know, like, well, it's always like this. It's always been like this. It's always going to be in one area of their life. Usually people have that. And what do you say to those things? And do you feel like you can present them tools to help have a breakthrough?
For sure. And also, if we keep saying always, what would it take for us to shift that? If instead of saying it's always like this, what if we ask, what would it take for me to shift this?
What would it take? Yeah, what would it take for me to be in a different energy space completely, where this is not a part of my reality?
Right.
So powerful. So everyone who would like to tap into greater possibilities, check out at Healing with. She has a fantastic Instagram page as well, with great information and wisdom from mothers, and she herself is a mother. So check it out. And thank you so much for joining me today, Tamar. I'm truly honored.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for having this platform where you bring people on and change people's consciousness.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Lots of love to everybody. Thank you for joining. Have a
Bye.
great day. Bye.